Hi, Alan Millard here. Here's a piece that is titled Sex, That's All Men Ever Want. Well, it's a common declaration made by women. But such acknowledgement comes with female hypocrisy and contradiction. Sex is often all women show men they have to give. And isn't it something women use and portray? Of course. Women also claim that women have an equal desire, need for sex. But sex would not be a common complaint in men if women also desired sex as much as men do. However, this contradiction is apparently only used to discount the discrepancy when it's convenient for women. Women refuse to concede to men, admit it, even if it means blatant hypocrisy, because this would weaken their sexual power and how it can be used to their discretion. We know, as the oldest profession attests, this equal need, so-called equal need, is not and never has been the case. Women fail to even put out half the effort in acquiring sex from men. Unless an ulterior motive exists, that is, as far as like money, some kind of resources. This is why only women should be held accountable for prostitution, the oldest profession, since it's only women who make sex a crime by charging for it. An accomplice to the crime is when the police entrap men by exploiting them through their sexual needs, even using undercover cops posing as female prostitutes. Actually, in this case, per entrapment, it's a setup. Police are culprits in creating the crime itself. Buying something needed is a business transaction between two consenting adults, in this case, and is no business of the governments to interfere, let alone purposely exploit and entrap innocent men via their basic personal needs. Sex and male guilt are not to be intertwined. This is about as low as one can go, especially by those who are assigned to supposedly serve and protect us. The equivalent male assets to women providing men sex has been the capability to provide women sustenance, later converted to government currency, money. We could also say money, that's all women ever think about. One major difference, though, is that money has been detached from men and their equivalent assets to women's, and is freely provided to women. However, female assets have not been detached from women and provided to men. And in consideration of this trade-off arrangement, we need to also realize that sex is something shared, not taken, unless a woman is raped. However, money is taken. By implementing equal employment opportunity, every man has, to some extent, been raped by women. A man who buys a woman's way on a date is subsidizing her assets without consideration for his own needs. And this has also been attesting to a woman's complaint, lesser need for sex, that she shouldn't feel obligated to have sex because he buys her way. Okay? We see a big time hypocrisy, double standard here. But sex wouldn't even be an issue if the desire were equal now, would it? It's mostly women who oppose prostitution and implement laws that control and or exploit men's sexual acquisition fulfillment. This secures their female assets, keeps their female commodity stocks high. They even manage to carry their moral flag when their interests are threatened by any other source or avenue of the male's basic sexual fulfillment, as porn, and again, prostitution, which are supposedly immoral. If this pertained to an equivalent female need, think there would be an issue with it, that women would be exploited even by the police through their basic needs? Of course not. Men's unconditional sexual fulfillment is a threat to female power. That's really all women think about, is how to sexually manipulate men and use their sexuality to exploit, overpower, and control men. And this comes with the help of our government and laws that ride on the same criminalization of men. Religion is also conveniently used by women, despite their actions, to assess men and their sexuality as dirty and immoral. Hell, the Virgin Mary is not even held accountable or ridiculed for being unfaithful, and is still heralded as a virgin after the conception of Jesus. Sexual intercourse is somehow bypassed in the encounter, indicating that she has not been soiled, so-called, by the male, and thus is still innocent and pure. Bullshit. Of course, women commonly exploit men through their sexual needs, using their bodies to do so, which also attests to the need imbalance. And this exploitation applies to laws sculpted to target men's sexuality. For example, women commonly use their sexuality to gain an advantage that men do not have in seeking and advancing in their careers. The Harvey Weinstein case is a prime example of this. He, on the one hand, is sought out by women using their sexuality to gain preferential treatment. Yet on the other, when they no longer need him, he is criminalized by them. Sex, that's all men ever want? Again, that's all women show men they have to give, and even that is phony. Not true, although conveyed in their skimpy dress and dishonest behavior. As Esther Flaw states in her book, The Manipulated Man, men have been trained and conditioned by women, not unlike the way Pavlov conditioned his dogs into becoming their slaves. Strange how if a woman finds a man looking at her deliberately exposed parts, he is told, hey, eyes up here. But if a woman views a man's deliberately exposed privates, his private parts, he is committing a sex crime. Talk about hypocrisy and injustice. That's it. But sexually revealing herself, a woman is conveying that she is sexually receptive to a man, welcoming his response. Her lack of sincerity is not something he is to be held accountable for, but is something, her own action, for which she must be held accountable. This was the case in the past when reason influenced laws that were not targeted to persecute some at the arbitrary discretion of others. Women are sexually provocative and openly summon sex from men, yet they hypocritically blame men for it. even saying that just because a man may desire sex with a woman means he wants to rape her. How bizarre is that? If a man desires to have sex with a woman, he desires to rape her? Is that what a woman desires when she's in the mood for a man? I mean, this is ridiculous, especially when a woman is sending her sexual cues. So all sex desired by men, therefore, is rape. It's only men. Okay. This is already completely ludicrous. If this happens to be the presumption, perhaps it is best to therefore ask, when men are stimulated by women deliberately and summoned by them with sexual cues, does that mean women desire to rape men? Do they have harm in mind for men? Indeed, that is more the case, obviously, as the results reveal. The last thing a man who is sexually stimulated by a woman has in mind is harm. Who then is really the least innocent and the one possessed by ill intent? A discrepancy must be made in that if sex is seen to be harm, it is women who are initiating that harm in their dress and behavior, often laced by a negative mental disposition/agenda. Women are therefore the actual instigators of sexual violence, per their hypocritical behavior accompanied by an exclusive and subjective assessment, not men. Good day.